What's up, YouTube? It's been a minute since I've been on the channel, since I've been like in front of the camera just talking to you guys, and because it's been about a year or two since I've actually just like been in front of the camera talking to you guys, coming to you with anything. I think like the last thing I was doing was like the Project 365 videos and stuff like that. And I've gotten married with kids. We got married October 21st of 2023. I've had a couple different job changes. So the last time I was on camera and I was just making videos and stuff like that, I was actually a personal trainer at the time working at LA Fitness, right? I'm no longer a personal trainer, don't work at LA Fitness, and since then I have had 3 or 4 job changes. So I left LA Fitness because, I was a master trainer at LA Fitness. I wasn't getting any clientele just because it was a little bit hard to sell the master training packages, and we started getting new trainers. They had to, book the other trainers with clients so they can actually be able to make a living and stuff like that. And again, it was hard to push the master training packages. I saw where everything was going. I decided to leave there and pursue Lyft. Lyft was going good. I just had a hard time dedicating myself to it. Left Lyft, and I went to go work with a bricklaying company. That was all cool and dandy. Only problem with the bricklaying company was me and the manager at the time. We butted heads, and in order to prevent a situation from going bad and going south and possibly getting into an actual fist fight altercation, I removed myself from the situation. And I know that probably sounds crazy. It's like, dang, like what could have happened to where you want to fight? And it's crazy when you're working in like a department like that or a field like that. Some people tend to have bigger egos. Some people tend to talk to people crazy, and some people just not going for it. And I prefer to keep the peace. So when I see that like there's not going to be any peace around, it's time for me to remove myself from the situation. That's what I did. After I left the brick masonry, I went and I actually worked. If you guys don't know, I stay in Houston, Texas, right? So I'm pretty sure you guys do know. You've seen the videos of me at Alpha Elite. You haven't. I don't know if you've seen many videos of me at Alpha Land, but more of that's to come. But left the brick masonry and I went and I started working at the Houston Zoo. The Houston Zoo was cool. I was there for almost a year. I actually got fired from the zoo the month of my wedding. To start of the month, I got let go after I picked up like extra hours and stuff like that, just due to my attendance and stuff. And working at the zoo was cool, but it became a kind of a work environment that was hard for me to go into just because I wasn't happy. I was working 10 to 12 hour shifts basically, depending. Like I started around zoo light time. Zoo lights was crazy. If you're working the evening shift on zoo lights, you're probably there till midnight. Sometimes working like 12 hours for the zoo lights. With that, I barely had time to go to the gym. So with me working zoo lights, I actually ended up gaining a lot of weight just because of the fact that I ended up third week into the Houston Zoo. I ended up picking up 2 extra shifts. Like I said, working like 10 to 12 hours, 4 days on, 3 days off, and I ended up picking up 2 shifts each week of the pay period. So we got paid bi-weekly. So we had 2 weeks where we work, and then we got our check. So usually we're working 8 days in the pay period. I picked up 2 extra shifts. So I'm working 10 days in the pay period. And in those 10 days, I had 1 day off. And in that 1 day off, I did not feel like cooking. I didn't feel like meal prep. I didn't feel like going to the gym. And because I spent most of my time at the gym, that 10 to 12 hours, I was completely drained by the time it came time to go to the gym. So, excuse me, I actually ended up falling off from the gym. And when I fell off from the gym, I gained almost 100 pounds. At a certain point, I ended up catching myself, and I was like, you know what, we got to get back into it. And we got back into it. We ended up losing a lot of weight, or I ended up losing a lot of weight. Went and I think I lost probably about 30, 40 pounds. I can actually post a picture about right here of what I looked like after I lost a lot of the weight. And around that time, me and my wife, we had known each other for a few years, and we actually started, getting a little bit more serious. We started going on dates, and we started eating out a lot, and that's when I blew up 100 pounds. And so I actually ended up topping my all-time heaviest, which in high school, my sophomore year, my all-time heaviest was 335. Ended up topping my all-time heaviest and ended up being 352. So at one point, I was almost 100 pounds down. At my lowest, I was 249 or 245, something like that. No, I was actually 239 at my lowest, because I was almost 100 pounds down. The like crazy life update that happened there was my third week there. So we worked a week in a hole. We got paid bi-weekly. So on my third week there, I was actually supposed to go and pick up my first check. And on my last day of working, I worked Sunday through Wednesday. That Wednesday, I was working the zoo lights, or I wasn't working the zoo lights. Zoo lights was changing over, and I left the zoo at the time I was scheduled to leave the zoo. Went into the parking lot, and my truck was not there. I was like, all right, I'm new here. Maybe they didn't know that I was an employee in the parking lot, and they told it. So I called my supervisor. I'm like, hey, did they tow here? Like, how do I find out they towed my car? And he was like, they don't do that. So he actually turned back around, came into the parking lot. We spoke to the security at the time. We spoke to the security at the time, and they actually laughed. They were like, what kind of car was it? What kind of truck? I'm like, it was a 2017 Chevy Silverado. And they laughed and they're like, you can't be serious. I'm like, what do you mean? And I was like, we literally just had another employee report their truck stolen earlier in the day. Somebody was targeting our trucks. They were targeting like the Chevy Silverado. The only difference between my truck and their truck was literally the color. Only difference. There was no broken glass in the parking spot. And I don't know if you guys know, but if you have an iPhone and you have your phone connected to the Bluetooth, when you get out of the car, it'll usually say this is your parked location. So I'm literally like, where's my truck? Where's my truck? I looked on the map and it told me I was standing in the parking spot. I'm like, I'm not tripping, man. This is like a 3,500-pound vehicle. Like, you're not going to misplace it. You know what I'm saying? And so they actually never ended up finding the truck. And I ended up getting a new truck once we got the settlement, because we had one payment left on it. One payment left on the truck, and we were done paying for it, right? Literally, that was December. Last payment was due in January. Couldn't find a truck. Insurance paid out, and we ended up getting a new truck. So now, similar truck to the truck I had. It's the 2019 Chevy Silverado. Pretty nice. It got USB-Cs, and with the times updating, almost everything's USB-Cs. My iPhone's iPhone 14 Pro. It's still on the Lightning, but I use the USB-C to Lightning cable. I actually do that for work now, because right now I'm just doing Lyft full time, trying to focus on wrestling. I'll get into that in a second. Once I got fired from the Houston Zoo, I ended up going back to I did Lyft full time again for a little bit, until a little bit after my wedding. And I ended up going back to the brick masonry, and we ended up having like not the best time there, just due to the fact that, for one, at this point, I'm married with kids, and now I'm no longer getting full checks because the weather was not in peak condition. So I'm probably working 3 to 4 days a week, getting paid good money, but because the hours aren't there, it was kind of handicapping me and my family. So just about last week, I ended up actually quitting my job at the brick masonry. So we're doing Lyft full time. I'm trying to get back on a content creation grind. And pretty soon I should be returning back to Booker T's Reality of Wrestling School. And so that's another thing that you guys have not heard about. Not too long after the truck got stolen, I ended up getting another truck, and around that time there was actually an advertisement for Reality of Wrestling, where they were doing I think they were waiving the first and last month payment. So I went in, just had to pay for the month that I was starting, and then I just had to pay every month after that. So as of late, I have not been to practice, just because, for one, when I went back to the brick masonry, things were all over the place after I lost my job. But now that things are getting a little bit more stable, now that I'm doing Lyft full time, I'm working on my own schedule. I'm looking to make my return soon. I just want to shed a couple pounds real quick, because I did put on a lot of weight between the time of me originally starting to school, and I've even been told that I was showing some promising potential. Around the time he started school showing promising potential, I put on a lot of weight, and I did go back at one point, but I knew I wasn't there like I needed to be there, just because I wasn't able to make it to practice all the time. My rolling was a little bit more difficult, just because I had gotten a little bit of weight, so my center of gravity changed and I wasn't used to it. My conditioning wasn't there, because, again, I put on more weight. I had kind of stayed out the gym for a little bit, but that's the whole point of us getting back into everything. As a matter of fact, I'll put in a clip of me doing some rolls and everything right now, just so you guys can see what it was like. One more thing too, guys, as I was telling you, I'm focused back on my content creation stuff, right? Back on the content creation grind. If you guys don't know, I actually do have a gaming channel. I just recently changed the name of it. It used to be Ace World Gaming, so if you look up Ace World Gaming, I'm not the first channel that shows up, but however, I am the first couple videos that show up. It's some videos from about 10 or so years ago, when I was around 14 or something like that. If you click on one of the videos and just click on the actual name, it's Zos Gaming. It used to be Ace World Gaming, but it's Zos Gaming, Z-O-S Gaming, after a space. I'll put the title right here, and I'll even put a link in the description of the video, right? I'm gonna be posting a little bit more over there. I plan on getting a little bit more active over there. I just recently did the Naruto to Boruto Ultimate Ninja Connect series or Ultimate Ninja Connection. The special story they had, I actually just uploaded that when it first came out. And with WWE 2K24 just came out, I plan on getting the game, making some content with that, and just having some fun over there. That channel's just gonna be like for fun, gaming, and I might even go stream on Twitch. The description for that'll be in the link for that will be in the description as well. You gotta excuse me, man. It's been a minute since I've been on camera. I'm kind of tongue twisted. I usually don't make scripts. However, I did write down a couple like plots or a couple points I wanted to make throughout the video. So like I've constantly been looking over to trying to make sure I got everything in. I went kind of out of order with certain things, but point being is, guys, I'm back. I'm here to stay. Subscribe if you haven't been here already. Please stay subscribed if you've already been here and you've been enjoying the content I was putting out at first. It's a lot more content to come. It's a lot more things to do. I'll put my TikTok in the description, my Instagram in the description. All my links to my socials that I'm really active on will be in the description. So if you guys want to get deeper into the world of what I got going on, be sure to follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok, follow me here on YouTube. Just subscribe. Look forward to seeing you guys soon, man. We're going to be making a lot more content. We're going to be having a lot of fun. Peace.